Hey guys, I hope you're having a wonderful day today. I'm going to start with today's title. It's called It's Time. Literally today, I'm just sitting down and something was telling me to read the whole New Testament all over again, starting from the beginning. So today, as I was meditating, sitting and praying, I opened the book and I started to read Matthew. So I'm reading Matthew 2, verse 13. And it says, "Now when they had departed, behold, an angel of the Lord appeared to Joseph in a dream and said, 'Rise and take the child and his mother, and flee to Egypt, and remain there until I tell you. For Herod is about to search for the child to destroy him.'" When I read this, I immediately thought about directions, I thought about a path, thought about him being saved. This literally says so much within a condensed verse that it could just help with so many things in life depending on what you're going on. What would have happened had Joseph not been obedient in the same moment when he was given an order? What are you doing and what are you not doing that was told of you to do? Imagine for a second in your life now, whether good or bad, because there are indeed consequences, good or bad, that will happen to us, whether we like it or not, which is the truth. Now think about this. The whole trajectory, the purpose already written for us in our lives could have been taken and could have been detrimental to us, to Joseph. What if Joseph did not take timely action? What if he was found being disobedient? This being disobedient is one thing, but following that comes disaster, turmoil, trials, and tribulations that we only bring upon ourselves and over our lives every day. Think about your life circumstances and trials. You go through unexpectedly. Are you able to discern? Discernment is super, super important for many reasons. Obviously, it's a great tool and it's a blessing to have it, but a lot of people don't know how to use it and don't have it because they don't fill themselves up. Because if you are, you will be able to know if it is happening because of God. God will let you know if it is from Him, if you are being refined by Him, and you'll be able to know if it is not from God. We need to keep ourselves spiritually full and keep our spiritual outlet awakened and walk in obedience. That means if you think it could be from God, then do it. If you read, you will know the enemy is not going to ask you to give. We need to seriously wake up spiritually within the intent to keep growing into our purpose and relationship with God. I can't even imagine, literally, can't even imagine how many times we dodged ourselves out from our blessings, cutting ourselves short of receiving the prayers we brokenly prayed for, all because of disobedience. Delayed disobedience is also indeed still being and living in disobedience. I know it's hard for us sometimes, and I know it really is just a feeling that you're not sure of, but when we stand firm in what we know and not what we feel, then we are literally led into our destiny and led closer to God. When we are disobedient and we do these things, it forms a wedge between our relationship with Him and us having the wisdom and discernment that we need to prosper in our spiritual lives. It is not your decision to decide when to do it. It's God's. And His timing is perfect. He already has everything written down in place for us. But when we don't listen to His voice, and we only act and make decisions because we want to and we are making the decisions instead of following His voice and what He's telling us, we literally only make a pool of struggle in our lives. Yeah, we have freedom of decision, but that doesn't exempt you from living in the truth. That doesn't exempt you from not having consequences in your everyday life. Did Joseph act out of did Joseph act out in obedience to what he was told? Yes. But he followed through with the whole entire way, not the halfway of what he was told to do. Obedience is when you follow what you're told to do fully, not partially, and not split up when you want to. He stood there until he heard the word to leave. Many of us don't know, can't see, and the unknown may make us super nervous. But trust and believe God's way will never harm you. When you feel anxious or unsure, It literally says in Jeremiah 29:11, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future." This is also why it's so vital to our life, minds, and decision making to read. It is so important to read. We have to fill ourselves and eat spiritually. What happens when you have a car and you don't have any gas? It's useless. You cannot use it to its full potential. We're only cutting ourselves short when we are not filling ourselves spiritually. Even if it's a minute a day of praying or 10 minutes a day of praying, whatever you can do, God will build you up. Literally. It's just like working out in the gym. When you start working out, you can't run a full mile. You work your way up to that. And it's about progression. It's not about what you see where other people are, or not about where you feel like you should be or where you know you should be. It's about getting there. We have to read so we can remember the truth, know it, and not fear nor be dismayed. When we are asked by Him to do something, even when we don't understand it, because that happens a lot, very much so, a lot to a lot of us, literally. Proverbs 16:9 literally is telling us that a man's heart plans his ways, but the Lord directs his steps, which is beautiful and amazing, and I'm super thankful for that verse, literally. Because no matter how stubborn we are, no matter how disobedient we are, or anything, when we follow Him and we want to, and we have the urge